News for April the 23rd, 2014. Well, I hope today you had a blessed day so far. And of course, still they have not recovered the boxes from Flight 370, the Malaysian jet airliner that I hope nobody forgot about. They still have not recovered those boxes. I do believe those recording boxes they found down there are probably the boxes, and I think they're just trying to hide it to try to cover up something. Or maybe somebody did take the plane and maybe killed all the passengers. Who knows? But, hopefully we'll find out what happened. Now, as far as what's happening with the fire that broke out at the Evangelical Church, the Lutheran Evangelical Church in Henrico County, the investigation is still going on. A source told us on Monday, which was not a very credible one, so I want to detract this, that it was not caused by a furnace going bad. According to the officials and cops and everybody, the investigation is still ongoing. So until we know any more information about it, we'll let you know as it develops. As far as what happened at Easter Sunday at 5:15 p.m. is still a mystery, but I think it's getting closer to being solved. So we'll keep you posted on that as the details of that come out, where we're able to share that with you. But right at this time, we can't tell you anything more than that. So anyway, just stay in here and we'll let you know what's going on. Remember the drug take back program that's going on in Hanover and Richmond and Henrico and different areas. The cops are having a drug take back program. Find out in your area where they're doing that. That's where you can take all your prescription drugs, over-the-counter drugs, as well as your pharmaceutical drugs. Remember, no needles, no injectables of any kind, no bags, or no no illicit or illegal drugs can go here, like methamphetamines and marijuana. You have to take that somewhere else. The DEA is who would handle that. Crimes Task Force Unit would handle that, or CDI would handle that. So you have to call their number and they'll tell you how to handle that if you have discovered that in your neighborhood and you want to report that to the police. They have a special task force that handles that. But if you're dealing with prescription drugs, you just take it to the area where they have it. If you're in Hanover, Virginia, in the county here, you can take it to Verdi Lane, that's VERDI Lane, LANE, in Mechanicsville. If you are near the Ashland Police Department, you can take it there, starting today from 10 to 2 p.m. through Saturday, 10 to 2 p.m. Take your unwanted, unused, old drugs, expired drugs, leave them all in the same containers and just drop them off. No question will be asked of you and no ID is required starting today. So you can do that. Do not throw them away and don't put them down the toilet, okay? Appreciate that. Also, we do want to tell you that there is there's a lot of things that are changing here in Richmond, and of course, you have a chance to help make things better. Like they're talking about raising the mill tax in Richmond, Virginia, and also they're talking about raising the utility and electricity in Richmond, Virginia, about $7. So you don't want those changes. Make sure you vote when they have their meetings scheduled. You have to go on their internet site or find out when they're scheduled so you can publicly go to those meetings, because regular citizens can attend those open meetings when they are scheduled, but you just got to check for availability and times. And you can find out, wherever you are, whether you're in Richmond or if you're in any other city across this nation. And you can find out about it. You can have a voice, and your voice can be heard at these meetings when they're open to the public. And you can have an effect on the voting and on the decisions that they make at your local city hall or places where they make their decisions, if you simply go in there and voice your concerns for the people in your area. Summertime is coming. Make sure your air conditioning is working, and make sure that you have good insulation to keep the cold air in your home and not let it go outside. Make sure your windows and screens are cleaned. Once the pollen settles down, I wouldn't worry about that till the end of till the middle part of June, end of May, early part of June, because that's when the pollen usually subsides. And I wouldn't worry about cleaning those screens until about then. You need to do the summer maintenance. And then when you want to open the windows, because there's still some cool days sometimes in June, early part of June there is. And when it starts getting warm, then you want to make sure your air conditioning is working in top shape, because I think we're going to have a real hot summer because we had a normal winter. We had a colder than normal winter because a lot of winters have been warmer than normal. So it's not abnormal really all that much. A little bit. There were some abnormal temperatures, but nothing to really write home about, because we always have a few days of those where it's a little hot or a little too cold. But it's not because of global warming. It's all a bunch of hosgosh. The globe always goes through a lot of cycles. And that's just how the globe is, because she's spinning on the top, on her axis. And that's, a lot of weather affects the temperatures and everything. And it has nothing to do with the global or the climate or carbon, They're like I was saying, they want to breed cows so when they fart, they don't give off butane. I think that's ridiculous. And they're also talking about where they can edit your genes. Yes, I said it right. They can do it before you're born. In the future, they'll be able to take embryos, meaning eggs, embryos, because you have to have an embryo before you have a baby. And, of course, they'll take the embryo and they can go in there and isolate or take out eventually. They'll be able to take out all 11,000 and some flaws. And that way they can, say, if they don't want you to have an eye problem or something, they can get rid of it, or a disease, or if they don't want you, or if you come out deformed, they'll just abort you, which is still murder, according to God. But, of course, they're going to play like they're God. These new eugenic scientists want to play like they're God. So, they're going to have to answer for that, because the blood will be on their hands just like it is still today when they're killing babies left and right. For no reason at all. When they could adopt these babies and give somebody a lovely girl and a lovely boy, even if they are disabled. There's a lot of people that would take in a disabled baby too. I would. I don't have a problem with it, whether they're disabled or whether they're normal. I don't care. I love kids no matter what they are, And I'm sure a lot of parents are out there like that too, that would take somebody in like that. Even if they have their own biological children, they might want to take in a few adopted ones too as well. Or if they can't have them for some reason, they can adopt a few. I always say in the doctor field and in counseling, I always tell and encourage my patients, or even my friends, if I was a doctor or counselor, which I do counsel some at church, that's why I say that sometimes, but I'm not fully licensed, but I do it as, as advisor, and if it's something more, then I give referrals. But the thing is, if I'm giving somebody advice, I always tell them to adopt the baby, don't abort it. If you can help it, don't abort it. Because that baby deserves a life just as much as you do. Maybe if you were molested, or you were raped, that was wrong, but it's not the child's fault that it needs to be killed too because of the sin that happened to you, because of somebody that was not, behaving right or being ethically, and they took advantage of it. But the baby shouldn't be punished to lose its life because of what happened to you. A lot of people want to kill the baby because they don't want to remember the memory. Well, you can have the baby and adopt the baby, and you won't have to worry about the baby. So you can forget it that way. You won't have nightmares because you aborted the baby, because a lot of things they don't tell you, kids and young people out there that are in the baby-making area and are all a buzz and all, they don't tell you that when you abort a baby, you're never the same. You have nightmares. You're not quite the same. You're bothered by it because it's a child that you have to live with, and you don't forget it. And it will always be hitting you in the face, And it's very, it really messes with minds of people when they have aborted babies, because they still have that emptiness because there's a connection of that child. And even though the child might have been killed, the body still has some type of connection to it, because it's a life that was in you and it was lost. From when you talk to a lot of aborted patients, that's what they talk about. Some have to even go for psychological help, and even to be admitted in some cases, because it sometimes can have that effect on one's psyche and mind, because it can really cause a lot of damage. So my advice to you is don't abort your baby at all costs. Try to adopt it, because there's a lot of good homes out here that would love to take a child, whether they're here in America or abroad, and I'm sure somebody would take that child. Please don't abort it. What happened to you was not right, but it's not fair to kill the child because of what happened to you. Because remember, the child is not the sinful thing. What happened to you was sinful, but the child is not a sinful thing. That child is a blessing. And if you even know you don't want the child, somebody else might want it. So think about that, folks. Don't go and abort that baby for no reason. Unless it's your life, then you can abort it. If you feel like you want to die, or you want the baby to die. But, it's a choice you have to make if it's going to be your life or their life. So that's a decision you can make. If that happens, but hopefully that won't happen. But anyway, let's get to some other news. A new thing is going around is that we're all, all people that are true patriots are all terrorists, according to the government, and they're demonizing the media and telling everybody if you're a conservative group or Tea Party, we're coming after you. In so many words, matter of fact, there's a big purchase all over the country, a big move of stockpiling weapons and ammunition, all federal. DHS, Homeland Security, and all federal agencies are all having a massive stock up or build up of weapons and ammo all over this country. And I wonder why. Probably because of what happened at maybe Clyde Bundy's, maybe. They got a little scared. From when you play the tapes, you see them with all their guns ablazing and facing at the patriots that had guns, but they weren't loaded and they weren't pointing at them. Matter of fact, they said, shoot first, is what I recall what the tape said, what was on the video. And if they shot first, of course they were going to have a battle. Would have been like Concord or like 776 or 775. But, they saw all that. They saw the firepower, even though they weren't using it in a disobedient posture. They had it down at their side and had the guns point to the ground. That is not a defensive-like posture. That means they weren't doing anything hostile or terrorist at all. They were just sticking up for that man's land because he owned that land before Nevada had that as a territory. Before Nevada became about, that land was his. It's been in their family for over 80-some years. So, and it's just like in another assault that's happening. There's some fishing places down in North Carolina that got shut down because all the waterway regulations that they're putting in place in this country. It's causing people not to be able to fish. At peak times of the year is where they make the money. So it's forcing them to close because they can't go out and fish because of all the regulations. It's like to say, oh, you can fish, but you can only fish at certain times. It's usually, and it's right during the climax, the full, the time where you get really a lot of fish, but they won't let them fish but so many, certain areas. And they can't go where they used to go, and so they have to force to shut down business. And that's going to drive the cost up of fish. You watch. It's going to drive the cost up on everything. And, this is something that they're doing by design to have control over the food supply. And that's what they're doing. The government's doing this, and they're cracking down on it. So, they're doing this on purpose. This is not something that's happening because of bad weather or because there's no fish in the sea. It's because they won't let them fish because of all the regulations. So you can thank the globalists for that. You can thank the people that are the elitists, the people that are controlling, the people that are greedy and in power. They're buying up all the waterways, all the nations, all the deals that were made. With our country, with other countries around the world, that that Mr. Reid, Harry Reid, dirty deeds that he's kind of made slidey, shifty deals along with Clinton and Obama and Bush. They all made a bunch of shady deals that we don't even know about. So, there's a lot of things going on here that, you just don't know about because, they're not all innocent either. The presidents before Obama either. They've got blood and things on their hands too, criminal activity too, shady things that they've done too, that we don't even know about. Bush, if he goes into a country, Bush Sr., if he goes into a country, he'll get shot because of war crimes. And he knows it. That's why he don't go overseas in certain places. He goes to other places, but he don't go over in Iraq because he's got a death warrant for his head. That's what I've heard. So, and Clinton don't seem to go over in Iraq either. So, he's got a death warrant on his head too. So, they might want to think about that because there's a lot of people, a lot of people are mad at him because they killed a lot of innocent people over there in Afghanistan and Iraq. So, that's something they got to deal with. And Obama, he's got a death warrant. He's going to have a death warrant on his head too by the people in those areas of the world. And as far as the spread of Ebola, we don't know what the extent is that it has killed some people so far. We don't know how many. They're saying not too many, but when they say not too many people got killed, I'm sure there's a lot more than just some that were killed. But of course, they're not going to always tell you. They always downplay it a lot, so they don't want people to panic. But there have been people killed. A couple hundred people were killed in Africa. It was probably a couple thousand people, but they're not going to tell you that. But they always downplay it, so they don't want people to get all excited, going. But this is something that is an alarm. I don't know why someone would release the Ebola virus out in the public like they did, because that's something that should be in the public. I mean, I don't even know why they stockpile any of these weapons anyway. They're not going to use them like they claim. Why do they have them? Apparently, they are going to use them. That's why they have them, and that's why we have them, because all the other developed nations of the world have them because for that very reason. Let me tell you this: I'm not going to get sick of an illness unless somebody puts it through the air conditioner or through a window. And if somebody does that, somebody's going to get sued. And if somebody does that, it's going to cause a war in this country. Because I'm not going to die of something unexplained. Because I'm not that kind of person that's suicidal. Okay? I'm not going to inject myself with something either. Not unless somebody did it against my will. But not because I did it. Okay? I'm going to tell you that right now. So, anybody got some kind of game you want to play, you better think fast and hard because I'm announced it on the air. I'm not going to kill myself for any reason, and I'm not the kind of person that would do that. I'm a very strong-minded, willed person, and I'm not going to do that. Not by choice. And I would never do that to anyone else either unless it was for self-defense. But the thing is, if somebody does try to kill me or something by poison or something, the government will be suspect. So that's just something to think about. But anyway, it sounds like we got a chicken out in the hallway there, or it's a little kid maybe. I don't know. Sounds like a little chicken's loose or something. Anyway, I hope they round it up. Yeah, here's a chicken. But let me tell you something though. But it's a nice day outside. It's cooler today, nice and sunny, but it's not as warm like it was yesterday. So it's a little girl outside playing. She's a darling too. I'm just kidding. She's not no chicken. She's a lot smarter than a chicken, a lot cuter than a chicken, but she's a little girl. But that's children for you. They are precious. But anyway, in the news though, we don't know what's going on with Ebola, but we'll keep you up to date on that and hope nothing crazy happens over here. And as far as that guy that disappeared in Richmond, we don't know what happened to him either. They're still looking for him. They don't know if he fell in the river, in the James River. This black guy, he disappeared on April 4th. They still haven't found him. They say he had epilepsy, seizures, kind of convulsion-like seizures when he drank. And, when he drinks, he would have that. Well, you're not supposed to drink if you're on medicine. But, of course, he was doing that because that's what his mom said. Somebody that knows him, a caretaker, said that he would have convulsions when he drank alcohol. It's probably because he was on psychotropics. And a lot of those things you can't drink, with them because they can do that, cause you have seizures because alcohol makes the drug real deadly, see. And, yeah, he might have fell in that river, but they haven't found his body yet. They're talking about maybe draining the lake around there where that club is, where they think he fell because they had a cadaver-smelling dog, and they gave him a sniff of the shirt, and the dog led them both twice to a certain spot. They're still looking for the guy. I hope they find that boy. I hope he didn't die. I hope he's not dead, but it seems to indicate he may be dead, but I hope he's not, for the family's sake. So anyway, that's the news for the local area. And, of course, Cyberwatch, we're watching for the latest battles and threats. There's still more unrolling mission about Heartbleed, the virus that was in the OpenSSL standard. A lot of sites have patched them. We don't know for sure if Facebook has yet or not, or Yahoo either, for that matter. A lot of social sites, we don't know if they keep up with that. And Zuckerberg, he just mainly said a while back, if people are going to put their stuff on my website, and trust me, y'all are just a bunch of dumb effers. That's basically what he said, but he said the whole word. MFers is what he said at a meeting. He was all cocky and arrogant like he is, He's a cocky son of a gun, ain't he? But that's the way he acted, But he said, you all just a bunch of dumb MFers. That's what he said on stage at one of his meetings. And that wasn't very impressive. I don't know why he's acting so cocky and arrogant, but that's the way he acts. I guess because he thinks he has all that money, so he can act that way. Some people think they have money that they can just be that way, I guess. Because they think it's special, a lot specialer than everybody else. Well, really, just like us, they just have a lot of money, but no different. But they think they're different. But anyway, that's just the way some people come across that way. But anyway, that's the news for today, and make sure you take your prescription drugs and over-the-counter drugs to those drop-off points, and wherever you're located in the United States, because they're doing that all today through Saturday at different places. Just check with your area in Richmond and things and find out where they are. All right, so have a good one. Subscribe down below and tell us what you know. Comment down below is what we mean by that. And I hope to see you here tomorrow. And make sure you subscribe. If you got 2 thumbs, use it and hit that subscribe button. And if you like a comment, hit it. And, tell us what you'd like us to do better. Keep it clean, because remember, kids, the churches do watch this channel. And thank you for all those who do donate to us and help us out every month. We're going to need, like I said, we do need $500 for the bills because something happened with some of the money. I'm trying to get it straight, but I won't get that back till the end of the month. But until then, it's going to be tight for May, so we need $500 to come in here. So if you can help out in that way, either help by calling me up and say, hey, I got a computer job for you. Can you help me out? And I'll pay you for you. Yeah. You do it that way, or you can buy some products. Hey, I'd like to order a case of that blow-off duster. You know what I'm saying? You can do that in bulk. You can even buy the lanterns that we sell, the weather stations, the bags of wipes that I showed you, the lanterns. When you buy those lanterns, that lantern, the Railvac lantern I showed you, it's $65. Remember, $20 goes to us to help the ministry and our station here. And of course, the rest goes towards the cost of the lantern, because the lanterns usually are about $45 and 90-some cents. And then we add $20 on there to go to the ministry and the church here at New Hunter, Church of Christ. All right, thanks a lot for helping us, and please tell other people about us and subscribe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. I'll see you.